Gremlins 2: The New Batch is one of the best comedies of all time.
Excuse me, where'd you hear that?
I'm going to say it again. Gremlins 2 is one of the best comedies of all time. I said it twice because I say it all the time and people think I'm being ironic or something, but it's true. It's one of the most insane, off-the-wall movies to ever come out of Hollywood. It's a live-action cartoon, and if you haven't seen it in a while, you have to check it out. Back up though, let's talk about what exactly Gremlins 2 is. It's the id of Joe Dante in its purest form. Joe Dante, of course, is the director of the first Gremlins and maybe the most criminally underrated filmmaker alive. The story goes that Warner Brothers tried to get a sequel to the mega-hit Gremlins off the ground for 5 years with no luck. They begged Dante to direct, and he said he'd only do it if he had total artistic control, and for some reason, they said yes, and this is what we got. Nobody gets the kind of carte blanche creative license Dante got on this movie. Especially on a big-budget franchise picture like this. Nobody. And the reason why nobody gets a deal like that is because they might make a movie like Gremlins 2. Essentially, Dante made a fever dream of everything he loved. A madcap, free-for-all, joke fest, modeled after Hell's A-Poppin', but with monsters. It's complete anarchy. It's a wild movie that parodies itself, it parodies the first movie, it parodies the idea of sequels in general, and it takes the whole franchise down with it in a flaming Viking death ship. It's perfect. Let's see, what's it about? Where do we even start? The movie starts with a cartoon by Chuck Jones, Joe Dante's hero.
Stop the music! Meh. What's up, Duck?
Then we see Gizmo from the first film escape from his home in Chinatown while it's being torn down. He gets scooped up by a couple of scientists and taken to the most advanced building in the world, New York's Clamp Tower, which just so happens to be where his old pal Billy now works. And guess what? He gets wet and all hell breaks loose. Okay, so here's what's so great. The Clamp building works as a device that basically lets the movie put the Gremlins in any situation at once. There's a TV station, a mall, a genetics lab, more on that in a minute. Any wacky scenario they can think of, and it's just jokes, jokes, jokes. Then the movie starts eating itself. You've got people in the movie making fun of the Gremlin rules.
What if they're eating in an airplane and they cross a time zone? I mean, it's always midnight somewhere.
You've got Leonard Maltin reading his actual bad review of the first Gremlins movie in the sequel.
Run amok and attack innocent people. Our moviegoers so desperate for entertainment that this kind of trash and cast for fun. Whoa, wait a minute!
Then getting eaten by Gremlins. Then, my favorite gag ever, this happens.
Don't patronize me, young man. They're real. I saw them.
I know, I've seen them too, but where?
In my laboratory. Voice of life.
Stupid name, I know, but...
It wasn't my own.
Can you imagine how great that actually is in the theater? The film can't even hold the Gremlins. They're in the booth now. They're in the theater with you.
This is worse than the first one.
We just show these movies, madam. We don't make them.
And then this happens.
Gremlins? In this theater? Now? Okay, you guys, listen up. People pay good money to see this movie. When they go out to a theater, they want cold sodas, hot popcorn, and no monsters in the projection booth. Do you think the Grimsters can stand up to the hostler?
It's insane! And even better, when the movie was first out on VHS, this gag wouldn't work anymore, so they did this one instead.
Sir, please try and calm down. We don't intend to renew your lease.
Just tell us what you're...
Rustlers, hold it.
Duck.
Get the hell off my spread. Now.
How great is that? And the cast. I've said before that John Astin can only make a movie better. Well, add to that list the immortal Dick Miller. This movie's got both of them, plus Zach Galligan, Super Crush, Phoebe Cates, Robert Picardo, Christopher Lee, Grandpa Munster, Paul Bartel, and this guy, John Glover.
Oh, let's do some memos.
He plays Mr. Clamp, a cross between Donald Trump and Ted Turner, except he's likable.
They're human beings in this building, real lives. Do you have any idea what kind of lawsuits we're looking at here?
This guy's amazing. He's impossibly fun to watch, and he gets to play out one of my favorite jokes.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
And I haven't even talked about the effects. Chris Wallace did an amazing job on the first film, but this one's got some of the best special effects ever committed to film by the legendary Rick Baker. Remember, this movie is pre-Jurassic Park, so we're still in the golden age of special effects. Gizmo is absolutely real in this. You totally buy him as a character. It's just top-notch stuff all around. They lured Baker to do the effects by promising him he'd get to create a whole lot of new weird stuff, which brings me back to the genetics lab. The Clamp building has a genetics research center, which just serves as a way to make a bunch of different kinds of gremlin characters, Bugs Bunny style, as in you drink a potion and you transform into a monster, because that's science. So we've got a spider gremlin, a bat gremlin, a sexy lady gremlin, and my favorite, the brainy gremlin, voiced by Tony Randall.
Well, it's rather brutal here. We're advising our clients to put everything they've got into canned food and shotguns.
It's mind-blowing to me that this movie even exists.
Is it safe?
It's lunacy done on a scale so big and expensive, I can't imagine anyone getting to do this again.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
I have no idea why you watched this video, because if it was me, I would have turned this off right now and watched Gremlins 2. Don't rent it, buy it. Stop this video now and do yourself a favor, watch Gremlins 2. It's the best.
That's all, folks.
Sorry, folks. It won't happen again.
That's tonight's movie. And boy, is it scary.